Untamed is going to be untamed. It's going to be a little crazy. I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
Oh, hot dog, look at you.
And nobody talked about what's really happening.
And let's have conversations about what truth is.
Omar was not happy when this reporter said that he just wasn't understanding modern liberalism.
Don't get what? Abolish the police? Tear down statues of Lincoln? Maybe give communism another shot? Get rid of the border patrol? Get rid of capitalism? White supremacy has never been worse? Gender is always just a social construct? It's okay to have penises in the women's swimming pool in women's prisons? Okay. No, it's not that I'm old. It's that your ideas are stupid.
Oh, he said it. Oh, he said it. He said it on television.
Hey, welcome back. Sorry I wasn't there yesterday. I am in the Whittington Center in Raton, New Mexico. It is the NRA Center. It's been around since the early 1980s. It was actually bought in the 1970s. So see, I have a bear on the wall behind me. We came out here to look at this 33,000 acre ranch, see if there were some things that we could help them with. So it's been kind of fun. Spent the last couple of days on ATVs going out throughout the deal. So that's just where I am right now. Now I want to preface what I'm about to say with a lot of things happen when you're sitting on a ranch with 33,000 acres. A lot. you tend to look at everything around you and take it in the last 6 years. And, I'm not immune from looking at the media. I'm not immune from looking at the headlines. Woke up this morning and it says all the socialists won the elections in New York, but they didn't. And what Bill is saying on that clip is that your ideas suck because they're not real ideas. They're designed to break down the constructs of our community, of our country. It's designed to push us into a lawless society, which is where we are right now. And when you have retards, you have literal retards, which are running things in the country because they've literally stolen elections in order to get there. And yet the 500,000 pound gorilla in the room gets us to a place where we're like, all right, well, that obviously, the elections are free and fair. When you have guys like Matt Crane in Colorado walking around like the pariah, like the treasonous traitor that he is, and saying that these election deniers are the problem, when he knows, I don't think he knows, I know he knows that the elections are fraudulent. I think that he knows exactly what is happening, and you couldn't be involved in it with your wife in the middle of it for 20 years and not know. Matt Crane's not our problem. John Thune's not our problem. Mike Johnson's not our problem. Our problem is that as Americans, they feel like we are the dumbest, most controllable human beings on the planet. And they can do to us whatever they want. They can put penises in girls' sports. They can groom kids in school. And every time we see something happen, they tell us that it's us. I had some piece of crap on one of my socials that said, you're batshit crazy. I'm thinking to myself, if I'm batshit crazy, then you're a freaking lunatic. You're like a devil. And we have to sit here and tolerate these people. And in the middle of that, I was on Ryan Schuling's show yesterday morning, and I was talking a little bit about this Kyle Clark guy in Colorado, Channel 9. So I was told that they didn't renew his contract. And we have all of these people. We have the Jimmy Sangbergs of the world. We have the Kyle Clarks of the world that create a narrative on both sides of the aisle. You have John Caldera at the Independence Institute that's out there trying to recruit people to be independent, because that's a real thing. Like society-wide, going back 4,000 years, that has worked any time in history in any country. It hasn't. But it favors the retards that say that they're the smart people in the room. It favors the people that frankly want to take away your Second Amendment, that have other people that are billionaires that got their billions, and other countries that remain to be little countries in the middle of the Middle East. I'll let you pick it. They get to come out and say, it's time to restrict the First Amendment because we have technology now. And before, when you were to talk to people, I mean, it led to a civil war and it led to a revolutionary war. You know, they tried to do the same thing then. And everything was always different. Well, the guns are different. Everything's different. And here's what's not different. Evil people are going to try and do everything they can because they're consumed by their need for power and money. And right now, we're in the place where every one of our elections is fraudulent. I mean, I said this about Virginia. We chose a CIA agent over a black conservative in Virginia. And you can't go on the streets in Virginia and have a conversation with anybody that would support anything that this ridiculous, they're not even hiding it anymore. And we sit back and we watch it happen, and we're like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. President Trump's like, hey, this is a national emergency. We need to make sure that we have IDs and that the SAVE Act is passed. And it doesn't even go far enough. Now, in the middle of all of that I just said, we have to embrace the ridiculous as that is the only way forward. And I was on one of the dads groups in Castle Rock, and a guy comes out and pours his soul out and talks about his kids are being trans. And he's like, he laid into him. Went on a trip and he came back and he laid into him. And somebody came out and said, maybe the first problem is you should have laid into him before he became trans. And he had all these people that had something to say inside the comments. And this one guy said, listen, you can like it or not, but it's a mental illness. And the place went bananas. Because God forbid someone else have a different opinion over the fact that you want to enable, and the overarching theme of the entire thread that I was reading was, well, there are 50% chance that they'll commit suicide if you don't affirm their mental illness. How do you know they're going to commit suicide? Well, they have mental illness. So they're, anything can happen. But no, let's turn them into, let's let them go down this perpetual place that will lead to absolute misery. It never stops. It never stops. And we got here over 20 years. And we could trace it all the way back to, were they stealing elections in the early 2000s and the 1990s? Yes. Yeah, they were. Absolutely, they were. And the fact that people don't lose their crap over the fact that elections are stolen is insane to me. But in 2004, you had Clinton Curtis testified in Congress, and everybody wants to say it's a slow boil. We're going to walk that way, and nonviolent. You had Kyle Clark that came out because I said it's going to take violence. It's going to lead to violence. Like, we're already there. We're already there. And it's somewhere in the middle of all this ridiculous, we are told that we're the crazy ones. And it's not liberalism that we're dealing with. It's communism. It is sheer evil that we're dealing with. And I got a lawsuit. I got to go to the court on July 20th. And I know that they are deathly afraid of me standing on that stand. They're deathly afraid. And you got lawyers that are with some of the other people that are that are being sued with me, who are semi-retarded, that have never even looked at the evidence, never had a conversation with me. They're getting sued by Eric Coomer. They don't even look at the information. This is how retarded these lawyers are. It's shameful. And yet, the gaslighting continues and continues and continues. But the policies of what is happening by us sitting on the sideline and letting them do what they want, it's no longer contained to one area. It's not just New York or just Seattle or just Portland. They want the whole country. They want your children. They want to be able to take anything and everything that they want to take from me whenever they want to take it from me. So here's Scott Jennings on CNN, and he's discussing the future of the Democrat Party. And hard to disagree with. Let's go ahead and play it.
If the socialists win, I agree with, they're going to feel like they have the wind at their back. You're going to see Mamdani-inspired candidacies across the country. You already are. Michigan is a great example. There's a Senate primary going on there, and I think Abdul El-Sayed is ahead in that. He has a great chance to win. He's exactly like these socialist candidates in New York City. It's not just confined to a few districts here. It is spreading already, and if they win, you're going to see this inspiration for these kinds of candidacies across the country. The implications for the Democratic Party out there for 2028 are vast.
And you got Dan Bongino talking about, the election's not stolen. You have retardedville. Like, it's one of the reasons why I look at the podcast and I go, they have slandered me, they had censored me, they have done everything they possibly can. You got the piece of shit over at Rumble that owns Rumble that's put me basically on the back. I'm basically permanently censored on Rumble. I know you guys like it, and you have to hunt it down and find it. And sometimes you have to hit the refresh button 3 or 4 or 5 times. You don't have to do that for anyone else. They do it purposely in order to make the experience terrible when people are actually watching the show. And if that wasn't true, then we wouldn't have a 300, 400, 500% spike. And people that are just going to the website to watch it, because at least they can have the experience of watching it on the site. They can't have the chat, but they can watch it. They don't have to worry about being censored or cut off. I wouldn't see that 500% spike if somewhere along the line, and my new users is up 40, 50%, if there wasn't censorship happening on Rumble, on YouTube, on all these other platforms. But they let retards go out there and try to dictate. And I'm sorry, Scott, you literally said that it's not confined to New York, but you won't talk about the stolen elections. Everyone stays away from it because they have punched everyone in the face and said, if you talk about it, we're just going to take everything from you. Well, I'm here to tell you, they're already taking everything from you. They're already taking it. Did you think that this was going to end better if we just sit on the sidelines and wait for somebody to come save us? Let's not. So here's an outline. Here is a video that shows you how they build their pipeline. Let's go ahead and play it.
After Mamdani's win, DSA is moving to expand its political influence across America.
We knew that they were not just victories for one elected office. They were victories of a movement.
10 politicians are now running for office in New York on the Democratic Socialists of America slate, including 2 candidates for Congress.
We're going to make sure that we are undeniable as a force in not only New York politics, but politics across the entire country.
All DSA candidates follow the same pipeline. They start with campus radicalism, then move to street organizing, then they run for office backed by the DSA machine.
New York City DSA built from the ground up. They built a whole political machine.
We need to turn DSA into a factory.
Moving from outside agitators to people with real power.
Step 1, campus radicalism. Like Mamdani, several candidates began their radicalization through campus activism groups like Students for Justice in Palestine, or SJP, founded around the idea of inciting a violent uprising in America.
Intifada! 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 People's war!
Step 2, street organizing. After college, these candidates took to the streets, organizing protests connected to the Black Lives Matter riots, pro-Hamas rallies, and extremist labor unions. Many DSA prospects have been repeatedly arrested for trespassing on private property and traffic blockades staged for arrest.
Getting arrested organizing the people I've organized with for over a decade. We just occupied Hochul's office.
Radical activism is the gateway to DSA backing.
And now we're coming into power, we're coming into politics.
Once identified, radical organizers are recruited by DSA, where they are groomed, trained, endorsed, and handed the resources they need to enter politics.
A friend of mine who I'd grown close to over the course of our organizing asked me to run for state assembly. It was at a Queens DSA electoral working group meeting.
Julia was recruited.
I had the pleasure of being recruited to run for office.
So I joined DSA actually because I was recruited to run for this position.
I got recruited by DSA.
The Democratic Socialist machine comes at a price. Once a candidate earns DSA's endorsement, their loyalty is not to the voters or the Democratic Party, only to DSA.
Every component of our campaign is being run as a shared project of our Broward DSA and of the larger Democratic Socialists of America. This is who I'm accountable to our members, not just here in South Florida, but 100,000 members plus nationwide.
We must make sure that they remember they are a member of this organization, and this organization stands with them.
We made you happen, and we can, if you do break with us enough, we can withhold that.
This is the pipeline. DSA handpicks street agitators, turns them into political candidates, and backs them into office, where they can be controlled to push DSA's extremist agenda.
As an organizer, I tell people to organize me. We bring in a movement with us.
This is about a movement.
DSA politicians are not Democrats. They are part of a machine built to subvert American democracy. Learn more about DSA's plans to overthrow America at canarymission.org.
You know what's happening. You can see it happening, but you can't make it happen without stolen elections. You can't make it happen without CIA involvement, which the CIA has been deeply embedded in the Democratic Socialists of America for the last 30 years. It basically is an arm of the CIA. These are people that are foreign agitators, foreign activists. It's highly funded by things like what we had at the USAID, and now that you cut that off, they're finding other ways to find and funnel money back to the organization. They have 100,000 out of 320 million people in the United States. And yet they are winning by wildfire in these elections. How does that happen? Well, I'm going to tell you how it happens. It happens by stealing elections. And you don't want to hear it if you're on the left and you're like, hey, come up with better ideas. Democrat Socialists of America do not have good ideas. They do not have things that have led to any sort of prosperity. It hasn't led to higher education. It hasn't led to anything that is good for our communities. And the fact that you can have someone come in a country and not have any transparency in the election system, have stored procedures and rootkits and the ability to, hold on, let me go ahead and kill that. There. The fact that we can, sorry, I'm on my laptop. The fact that we can actually have only 100,000 people, George Soros backing it, people in other countries that are backing this movement in the United States to destroy our country, and we sit on the sidelines and watch, is unbelievable. They had a clean sweep in New York primaries last night in New York City. Clean sweep. So you have Palestinian Aber Kawas, who won the New York State Senate seat representing the people of Queens. It's a blue district, maybe. We don't even know what's blue. We don't know what's red. It's starting to separate where you have the Democrats and Republicans. They were evil people on one side, and you got the American people on the other side, held hostage, slaves. Here, though, is what Aber had to say about 9/11. You got to hear this. This is the person in New York talking about something, an attack on the people, Americans in New York. Go ahead and play it.
And finding that, the system of capitalism and racism and white supremacy, etc., have all, and Islamophobia have all been used, to colonize lands, right, to take resources from other people. And so this is like a long trajectory, and we're just seeing the manifestations of that continuation, right, with 9/11. And so a lot of times when people are asking us to respond about, attack, right, if you look back, historically, right, a lot of us come from lands that were colonized, lands where wars are being waged, right, a lot of times because of U.S. policy or the policies in Europe. And so I find that we can connect over that, but then also that the idea that we have to apologize for a terror attack that a couple of people did, and then there is no apologies or reparations for genocides and for slavery, etc., is something that I kind of find reprehensible.
A couple people did. Radicals like her did. An attack on our own soil. And in just 20 years, because of stolen elections, we are sitting here having a conversation about whether or not our children will have any opportunity in the future. In 20 years, we're now on a trajectory that we are below the threshold to replace the populations that we have. And if we just want to look at it, if we just look at it from the perspective of what they were telling us, the World Economic Forum 5 years ago was telling us that they wanted to bring the population down by up to 90%. Bill Gates said the same thing. Bill Gates, this diabolical demon who went into Africa and sterilized entire villages, acted with impunity, worked with people like Fauci to game a function, to create an environment where they were able to push out a bioweapon across the entire world, shut us down, and then force people to get a vaccine that they knew would kill people. Many, 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 tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Americans now have turbo cancers, have all sorts of problems. And these people keep walking around acting as if somewhere along the line there's nothing to see here. It's sickening. And everyone can see it, but nobody wants to talk about it. Here's another one of the candidates. This is Diaraliza Avila Chavalier. She won the primary in the New York 13 Democratic primary, and she was endorsed by Mamdani. This is what she said. She put up a thing that said defund the police. And she said, I forgot to get napkins, so I just wiped my hand on the American flag behind me. That's the person running for office in the United States. And we sit back and we watch it happen. We watch this happen. But we're more concerned over what I said about the fact that it's going to lead to violence. You had the dog whistles of the woman before, Islamophobe and white supremacy, all the bullshit that we have to deal with. It's not even real. We're not even talking about stuff that is real, that actually is happening in our country. It is a made-up construct, a boogeyman underneath it that controls and has frozen most of society in America. Oh, I don't want to be racist. I don't want to be an Islamophobe. I don't want to, you know what I want to be? I want to be an American. And I don't care, white, black, green, you could be whatever you want. You don't get to shove it down my throat. You don't get to tell me that I have to pay for the sins of someone 600 years ago. Look, life sucks sometimes. Embrace the suck. Not my fault. It's not anybody else's fault that your life sucks. Sometimes your life is going to suck. But now what they want to do is they want to destroy everyone's opportunity, and they want to equalize it to a level where it destroys the very fiber of our nation, and we're sitting back watching it happen. I think something is about to change. And here, by the way, is that Chavalier, which says that she converted to Islam because of grace and love and compassion. Go ahead, play it.
I know that we all deserve a representative who isn't bought by AIPAC. I'm also the only Muslim in my family. I reverted 3 years ago. Actually, the friend who pushed me to do it asked me, why have you fasted for 4 years and yet you haven't taken your shahada? She's here today, and when she asked me that, I thought, that is a great question. And I thought for myself why I hadn't taken the step yet. But it was seeing how all of my friends who were showing up to organizing, who are Muslim, were showing up in the space, and the grace and love and passion that they had in these spaces of social justice, that really pushed me to join the faith. And wanting to make sure that we are reflecting that, I'm reflecting that in every space that I'm in, and that, inshallah, if we make it to Congress, that we're reflecting that in the halls of power as well.
I'm on 33,000 acres right now. And as I look down at all the stuff that we're experiencing right now, and you listen to this idiot, I don't care if you convert to Islam, but the stealing of elections, the enslavement of the American people, the fact you don't own anything, you don't own a car, you don't own a house, you don't own anything, you have to pay rent to the government or you can't use it. That's slavery. Well, these clowns, by the way, the people that you're looking at right now, they are largely dependent on subsidies from the government that you pay. So you get to go pay these subsidies, and you'll have imams, which are they run mosques, right? They will have 6 or 7 houses. I'm not kidding. And they'll have 6 or 7 wives. And wives will register as single in the U.S. system. And they will get all sorts of money. They will get all sorts of free food and housing, education, and it's overwhelming. And that guy can just walk house to house to house, and they're having 6 and 7 and 8 kids. But you can't afford to have any of that. You want to know why? Because you're giving 56 cents of every dollar to the government, who then is either wasting it, handing it off to their friends, or handing it off to people that are not entitled to it. And I don't want to hear this deal about AIPAC, right? Frankly, I think you got the evil synagogue of Satan, and you got these clowns over here, and they are walking the same path. Destroy America. And if you go back and you listen to the words of leadership now that leads this country overseas, it's obvious. The only people that are being left out is about 290 million Americans. That's who's being left out in the cold. We get to be enslaved by just really evil people that tell you to cut your kid's penis off. Somewhere along the line, pedophilia is okay. We're going to let them out on the street, while putting good Americans in jail because they become a part of the system that is able to feed their frenzy. And the judicial rot, the coup that has existed in America, man, I don't even know how we could get to this far without somebody actually saying, hey, all the men, just get together. It's time. It's time. And I think we're there. Nobody wants to live in a world or in a country that we're living in right now, where we have so much ridiculousness and we have to sit on the sidelines and let it steal the very soul of our nation. I don't even think it's something that anybody wants to stomach. But then you have the useful idiots like Mike Johnson. You know what? Don't talk to me about being Republican or Democrat. How about just be a good human being? Don't talk to me about being black, white, or green, or yellow, or Islam, or the enemy to everyone right now is Jesus, is God, is Christians, that's what they're basically fighting against. But Mike Johnson, he had this to say about this rise in socialism in New York as they gaslight and walk past and sell your soul, knowing that all the elections are fraudulent. Play it.
You saw the result of this latest, these primary elections for the Democrat Party. The headlines this morning say it all. I've got a collection of them here. Socialist earthquake, one of them said. Mamdani candidates sweep New York House races. These are socialists. These are Marxist in their ideology. Next headline, Mamdani hails new chapter for Democrats, one of the Chiron said this morning on the news. Hakeem Jeffries, my counterpart, the Democrat leader here in the House, was booed at some of these return parties last night. You saw that on social media and some of the clips. When he was being interviewed on the screen, the crowds in New York, in his own backyard, in the Bronx, in one of these districts, were booing him. And they shouted, "You're next." Hakeem Jeffries has a tall task ahead of him right now. He's got to go out and somehow make a credible pitch to Democrat establishment donors that that's a good national investment right now. That's a tough one to make. He has just proven that he cannot even hold the line in his own backyard. How can he possibly defend against the Marxist march around the country in these other districts? This is not your father's Democrat Party, as we say all the time. Last night, among the incumbents who lost, Adriano Espiat, who's chair of the Democrats' Hispanic Caucus, Dan Goldman, who was mocked for his Jewish heritage in a coffee shop in New York and maligned online because of that. The Democrat Party, the socialists, the Marxists, have nominated some of the most radical candidates to ever run for office, and they're running for Congress. The insurgent left is on the rise. I was reminded all last night and this morning about the warning, the admonition from the...
There you go. Walk right past it. President Trump today said, pass the SAVE Act or I'm not going to have your ridiculous signings. It's like President Trump is all by himself. And, I kept thinking to myself that these people can't be that stupid. They couldn't be. This can't be normal. And then I remember all the different companies that I've gone into. And my job is to go in and fix them. I'm a fixer. I'm really good at fixing stuff. And I would have to sit down with people, and I'd have people that I'd hire, and I'd say to them, hey, look, this is what we're trying to accomplish inside the company. And they would be like, oh, I don't want to do that. And I'm thinking to myself, well, why not? This is how we're successful. And they're like, yeah, okay, well. And then they actively work against me, and then I have to fire them, right? So we go in, we have a client that comes in and says, hey, look, we need you to go in and fix this part of our organization. I'm like, okay, I can do it, no problem. So I go in, they're like, yeah, we're losing $1.5 million, Joe. And I'm like, okay, well, that checks. Let's do an analysis of the entire organization. And I sit down with 4 of the top stakeholders in that organization, and they're just retarded. They're just some of the dumbest human beings. These are people making $250,000 a year, plus one of them making over $1 million a year. And I start asking simple questions. And in the middle of the meeting, now keep in mind, my contract when I go in to fix something is pretty simple. You either do exactly what I said as you pay me, because I'm going to be responsible for your success or your loss, or I'm taking my choice and going home and you still got to pay me. So a lot of times when I go in, I tell people what the rules are, and they're shocked by the fact that I go and I meet everybody. I'm shaking everybody's hand. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And you've all worked for these people. Like if you're listening to this podcast, you have had people in your sphere who frankly are dumber than rocks. I've had people dumber than rocks who work for me. I have people that literally have worked against my better interests, not because they know better, but because they're doing it on purpose. So I got 4 people in this organization. I'm sitting down. I was like, all right, here are the 3 things that I put it up on a board. Here's the objective. And everybody's already seen my handwriting, right? So you think I have terrible handwriting. Here's the thing I don't have terrible. I don't have a terrible brain. Like I'm super smart when it comes to actually fixing stuff. I'm a system architect. I can put things together very, very quickly, right? And I sit down, I'm like, we're going to do this, 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 and this. And one person goes, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not how we've done it for the last 10 years. And I was like, yeah. And I take the piece of paper and I throw it across to him. And I'm like, and you've lost over the last 10 years in your division almost $11 million. So go ahead, tell me how great you are. No, let's do it your way. And I hand him the marker and I'm like, come up here and do it yourself. I embarrass him. And one of the other people goes to the defense of this person. So this is how government works, right? It's filled with retards. It's filled with people who don't actually know how to implement. They don't know how to hunt, and they don't know how to fix, and they don't know how to grow. The number of people that have the ability to do that are very small. What you have is a bunch of suckerfish. Our entire government is filled with suckerfish. The leaders, like Mike Johnson and others, they're betrayers of the people. Betrayers of the people. Very simply, they do not do what the people need them to do. When's the last time you've seen a politician go into town and say, hey, look, I need to have a town hall? They don't answer to the people. They don't care what you think. And what's worse about what I'm telling you is that after sitting down with these 4 people, I had a list and I was like, I'm firing him tomorrow. And I walked into the CEO's office and I was like, we have to fire him. We have to fire her. I'm gonna move him over into a different position. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he's just not seeing my vision. And this guy, this 4th guy right here, I'm just gonna put him on notice that if he tries to create a coup, that he's going to be exited out the door. Anybody want to take a wild guess on how many of those 4 people actually made it through? Any? Yeah, all 4 of them out. And I've had people that have been in my company that told me that they have all the answers. And I'm like, oh, that sounds great. And as we're not doing well in a certain position, they're telling me that they have a better answer. And I'm like, get out of my company. Well, we don't have that luxury in government because when you steal elections, you can't replace people. And when you make things tribal, which was what we made in the United States, what you open yourself up for is a massive amount of theft. And that theft and lack of accountability is where we are now. We have a judiciary that is rotted to the core. a vast majority of the judges in our country are absolute 100% demonic pieces of shit. True story. And no matter where you look, the harm that they have done to our community and our country is overwhelming. And every time someone sees it and they try to do something about it, they're told you just got to stay within the lines, which means you're a slave. The elections in our country, let me say it again for the people in the very back of the room, they're all stolen. All of them. Every election in the United States is a fraudulent election. A fraudulent election. 100%. Not 50%, not 30%, not 20%. Every election. And for you, the village idiots, the morons in the back of the room, that like the piece of shit on my Facebook page that told me that somewhere along the line, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, buddy, but Trump won the second time. They had to take the Trump chess piece off the table. That was a calculated move. And then they stole every election since then. And the system is so ingrained, and you have such cowardice. You have Pam Bondi, that piece of shit. Look at what that woman did. And look at who she's connected to. Oh, but let's not just talk about Pam Bondi. Let's talk about Todd Blanche. Let's talk about the fact that President Trump had to cut off funding to Colorado to get the governor of Colorado to be like, maybe I should play ball and let her out. We're in a country that is captured by evil people. And there's like levels of evil. There's like a cartel over here and a cartel over here. Our country is captured. Everywhere you turn, it's captured. And frankly, it's coming to a head right now. It's coming to a head. Like the amount of people saying we're done is overwhelming. And the unlikely alliances is that nobody gives a shit about the FBI. Nobody cares about the police. Nobody cares about the judiciary. They're all a bunch of weak little. They don't care about them. What they care about is what are our military brothers and sisters going to do when it hits the fan? And you could say, well, that's a call for violence. No, we're in an active coup in our nation. Active. And am I upset about it? Yeah, I'm upset about it. I want my kids to have a great future. Not one where you get to choose your gender. It's a construct. And somewhere along the line, women are told that you can do everything that a man can. You can't. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't. God didn't make you that way. And you cannot ignore what is happening in our country when people that are funded by the CIA and elections that are 100% fraudulent. Everyone wants to get on X and everyone else, and you have all these people that put stuff up and they're like, this happened in this state, this happened in this state. It doesn't matter what state you're talking about. They literally have enough ways to cheat inside the system. They can push a button, it breaks, nothing works, people can't vote. They disenfranchise people. At the same time, screaming over here that, oh, we won by 0.5%. It's a joke. Everything is a joke. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're just going to get more into it, right? We'll get more into 2026 is the year, man. This is the year. We are not getting out of this without unscathed. We're just not. We're not. And don't talk to me about the fact that that we just have to be patient. I don't want to be patient. I've been patient for 6 years. It's time we actually got things across the finish line and we stopped lying to each other. But it all comes down to money and power. Nothing to do with the American people. They don't care about you. You're a slave. So we'll take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about, do we even have a constitution? I mean, at all? I don't know. We'll see. We'll be right back.
Oh, hi. I almost didn't see you there. Welcome to DCF Buns, where you can find the freshest buns in town, if I do say so myself. Our master bakers teach class every week. So whether you're new to baking or trying to improve your culinary skills, we got you covered. And we can help you bake the cake of your dreams. We'll even clean your cake if you want. And if you don't want to bake anything yourself, we have loads of fresh buns available in a variety of shapes and sizes. Check us out at dcfbuns.com to learn more. DCF Buns, we keep the buns hot and the deals hotter. Buns.
In every thread, in every stitch, Honor-Bound USA weaves the fabric of the American spirit. It's not just apparel, it's a testament to God, family, and country. At Honor-Bound USA, we're a family of patriots who put our faith, family, and America first. When you visit our website, you'll find a line of products that embody our commitment to pray, stand, speak, and act. As the official site for the Untamed podcast, all of our products proclaim speaking the truth with courage. We also have the powerful documentary from Professor David Clements, Let My People Go. Identify yourself as one of the few who are willing to stand for what they believe in. Join the Honor-Bound USA family today. Wear it as a badge of honor, commitment to the values that shape us, and a pledge to the bright future we will build together. Because when you're honor-bound, you're not just wearing a brand, you're embodying a lifestyle.
How you doing, officer?
Hi.
Doing great.
Appreciate you.
Do you guys have the number for non-emergency dispatch in case you get harassed?
Oh, no, we don't, sir.
Get your phone out all.
Okay, hold on.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's so kind.
There'll be officers walking around.
Okay.
What's the number?
So there's two numbers.
Okay.
There are two different lines. Yeah, that goes to the non-emergency, and just tell them where you're at.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you. I
Appreciate that,
appreciate
officer.
you.
Thank you.
Yep.
You're awesome. Thank you so much.
So I think that Santa Monica police more than passed the audit. They've exceeded expectations.
Wow.
They,
I'm shocked.
Gave us the non-emergency. I've never seen that before.
I have
on
never.
any auditor's video.
I have never seen a police officer look out for our safety and be like, hey, just in case anybody harasses you guys.
That's amazing.
What a First Amendment king.
That's crazy. Wow.
What, you know what? I shouldn't say king. I should say what a First Amendment founding father.
He is a founding father.
That
I think more and more people, police officers, lawyers, school teachers, we're seeing it more and more. People are coming forward saying, we don't want this. And you'd be hard pressed. Look, all we need is free and fair elections. We can take care of the rest. Getting rid of judges is going to have to happen. And everywhere we look, they keep blocking things. And yeah, right now we have a functioning Supreme Court. Well, they're going to pack that. They have gamed and cheated every which way but Sunday. That's why you have ranked choice voting. That's why you have all these different things that they're putting in play. You can't just have a system that traditionally over 250 years has worked great. No, we have to change it, manipulate it, because the American people have to be enslaved. And that's where we are, $39 trillion in debt. Is it really $39 trillion? No, of course it's not. But you gotta keep the American people on their heels. And then you have people that walk around that are bots that are like, oh, give your fair share. Piss off. The fair share is that we contribute to society, and we should be able to keep a vast majority of the dollars that we have that we go out and work our butts off in order to get. But we live in a society right now where the judge protects the criminals and allows the victimization of our children to continue. Now, this next story is crazy. This is a father. This is a father that was sentenced to 1 year in jail. 1 year. 1 year in jail. Because he admitted to having sex with his 18-year-old daughter. And she later took her own life. And he was given 1 year. Play it.
Stephen Vincent Chavez admitted to the charges in May and was sentenced this week. Prosecutors say the incident happened after a family gathering in July 2025, when Chavez gave his daughter alcohol and later had sex with her at their home. Authorities say she had just moved into his home days earlier and died by suicide 5 months later. The sentence has sparked outrage, with prosecutors saying they had pushed for a 3-year state prison term.
He pled guilty to felony incest and a misdemeanor charge providing alcohol to a minor. What should be the penalty for someone in a position of trust to your own daughter? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand how we can get to a place where we have judges that are not enraged by the evil that's being committed in our society. But it's all about money. It's all about putting more people on the street to do harm. And she committed suicide as a result of this, just 5 months later. Here's a picture, by the way, of the judge that handed down that 1-year sentence in that case. Dusty Kawa. Go ahead, keep going up. I just want you to know that this is another non-American judge. Non-American judge. Not American. You don't have to be an American. And you could say, well, he immigrated here. And I would say, I don't care. Bringing the injustice of other countries into our own country is not, it doesn't even make sense. We are seeing more and more of this happen, where you have people that are pushed to a place where they just don't want to deal with it anymore. Let's go ahead and play this. This is a college video talking about borders. Go ahead and play it.
Y'all to get out here with your signs.
What do you mean? Oh, you have borders on this campus?
No, we have this space reserved as an official event.
Yeah, so you have borders. Where's your borders at?
This whole green area right here.
Oh, so you want to control who comes in and out, like an ICE agent or a border patrol agent? You wouldn't dare act like a fascist, would you? I would really encourage you on a rally on a campus. This is an event for sanctuary campuses. You probably shouldn't act like a fascist border patrol agent. You should take down your borders and let whoever wants on the space, okay? Why is your lip quivering? Because you've been called out on how you're acting exactly like how you don't, what you're advocating against. You're acting just like them. So if you believe in illegal aliens allowing to have sanctuary on this campus, put your money where your mouth is, leave me alone, and let me have sanctuary on this campus, okay?
But here's the reality, is it has nothing to do with justice. It has everything to do with this sick ideology. So imagine being these big companies and you're filled with people like the 4 people that I just talked about, that I had to fire all 4 of them. And by the way, when I went to go visit that CEO, I'll kind of come back to this for a minute. When I went to go visit the CEO, they do a substantial amount of revenue. And I'm like, bro, they all had to go. And he goes, yeah, but she was with the company for 14 years. And I was like, well, when is the last time that particular division made money? And he goes, I don't know. I said, did it make money anytime in the last 5 years? And he said, no. And I was like, all right, show me the reports. Show me the reports of why it didn't make money. And so I got to read a couple of the reports, not 5, but a couple of the reports. And I was like, every one of these reads like an excuse manual. I go, show me the work product for what they did accomplish. Show me the actual accomplishments for her department over the last year. I think I said 2 years. Let's say a year. And, you have, when you're building out strategic plans for an organization, large ones that do over $1 billion, there's a tendency that you have to make sure that you have, when you're going into November, you're like, okay, here's my goals. And so I reviewed this one report that just happened the year before. And by the way, the person that I had them fire went on to one of these sites and decided to basically bash me for fixing the company. Now, they were $1.4 million in the hole. Okay. 2 of the 4 people oversaw significant budgets. And you say $1.4 million is not a lot of money if they're doing $1 billion in capital. I would tell you, actually, it is if you're dealing with large ticket items. So, needless to say, we sit down and we walk through it. And I've been on this project now for 5 months, just over 5 months. And last year they lost 1.4 million. I looked through all their accomplishments and nothing showed that there was any accomplishments. Fast forward, I fired them about 30 days into the project. I gave them all an opportunity. They didn't come to the dance. They had to go. It turns out they really weren't that working. They didn't show up. They left early, or came in late, left early every day. And so I would purposely set meetings at 4:30, 5 o'clock at night. I do the podcast, get out there, and I'd have some of these meetings. So what do you think the outcome was over the last 5 months? Well, so let me tell you. The net profit for the last 5 months in a very tenuous time is nearly $3 million. So that company is now profitable over the last 5 months, $3 million. And they'll probably finish the year up almost 12. So we're going to have a net profit over 12 billion. You had 4 people that I fired. They got off the project very quickly. And that is what is happening in our government. That is what is happening in most major corporations, is that they put people who are retarded in positions, and the people that are really doing the work are handicapped by retarded, handicapped people. It's pretty simple. By the way, it's basic math. It's basic math. And this company will now do $12 million in net profit. I bet you we finish at $12 million, just in the part of the company that I've helped kind of revamp. Now, was it difficult? Yes, it was a difficult task. Did I want to fire 4 people? No, I didn't. But as a country, if we don't start firing all the judges and getting to a place where we can have our eyes fixed on what the goal of what our country and what we should look like, then we're doomed. Because that means they're controlling the outcome, and those retards are doing what Bill was just talking about before. Like, you guys want to put men in women's prison. It doesn't make sense. But then, why not be able to be 3 square meals and you get to have sex with 40, 50, 60, 100 women? Why not, right? That's where we are right now. So now let's talk about this DEI executive. This is an actual executive, an executive who was caught on camera dumping trash all over New York City streets and stealing a Knicks trash can. Let's go ahead and play it.
Trash can onto the streets and then stole it. She was fired by JP Morgan Chase after being identified as their DEI executive. So far, she has not been charged with a crime, but the city sanitation department saying, quote, dumping trash onto the street and stealing public property for your own personal use are both illegal, antisocial behaviors and not what New Yorkers do. On top of all of that, doing both on camera is incredibly stupid. Country music superstar Kenny Chesney.
A DEI executive. So now diversity, equity, and inclusion has an executive. Like, you have somebody that actually wakes up thinking to themselves, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go make things equal. So then they dump trash all over the street and steal a trash can. That's where we are. That's embracing the stupid. Well, she was fired. How many people are you going to be able to fire before you get to the place where you realize we've got to have enough. We've got to put our foot down in all of this. Well, I don't have a lot more to talk about today. I'll be back in the studio tomorrow. We have an amazing guest that's going to be in tomorrow. It's going to be a huge surprise and a huge blessing. Tell everyone, Tina Peters will be in the studio with me tomorrow, and I'm really excited about it. So it'd be great to have Tina on. I got to spend some time with her, and when we were in Vegas for the fraud deal, there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on, and when we eliminate the weak and we start doing everything that's necessary to get back to a place where we have free and fair elections, let's just start there. If you do that, there's a pretty good chance that we can actually save our nation. So Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more. Go over and give us a 5-star review. I have a trial coming up in less than a month. I am so excited to get my day in court. So excited. And I don't anticipate that it's going to go well, but I don't care. I don't care. Like I've had enough of these evil people. I haven't even decided what I'm going to do yet. But I can tell you right now, I will not be silent. I will not be silent. And besides using the judiciary and doing the things that these retarded, demonic pieces of crap lawyers that are out there, the Coomer lawyers, I've lost confidence in the ability to get across the finish line without force. And so what is the world coming to in 2026? I think it's coming to force. We'll see. But update on Dave Bear. He's still giving it the fair fight. Things are not going incredibly well for him. But what an incredible man. And I got to spend a little time with him a couple days ago. I'm going to put together a conference that is for shooting, which is another reason why I'm here to go through some stuff at the Whittington. If you haven't heard of the Whittington, the Whittington Center, go check it out. Go look it up. It's in Raton, New Mexico. Yeah, you can shoot 3 miles, 5 miles. I think it's 3 miles. I think 3 miles is the distance, the longest distance. But it's, it literally is. It's an amazing place where you can go and just shoot guns and get in the backcountry and do some great things. 33,000 acres. So I look forward to putting on a what do you call it, like a Lollapalooza, but for conservatives, for normal Americans. How about that? We'll try that. Get a couple hundred people out here. It'd be a real good time. So I'm going to pray us out. And Gammy is back online. If you haven't seen her, I know that people were concerned with her because she, frankly, had to have surgery and she'd been in jail, meaning she'd been in jail. She'd been in the hospital for quite some time. So, and I guess there's a rally tonight in D.C., America 250. Yeah. So you get a chance to go to that. I won't be there. I'm taking a little bit of a sabbatical right now. I'm doing the podcast. I'm going to talk to you about what's going on, but they got to show me some stuff first. Like I'm not going to travel all over the country anymore and get involved in things just to be disappointed. So, let's pray us out. Father God, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. Thank you for just the amazing people that over the last 6 years have not lost hope, that has continued to fight forward for what we need as a nation. Father, we know that restoring you to our community, to our country, to the world is ultimately the thing that has to happen in order to get to a place where we have peace. But Father, we know that incrementally we're willing to get into the fight and do what's necessary in order to protect the interests of the people, your people, the American people. So Father, I just ask that you would look back the veil and allow us to see the truth, and that you would give us the opportunity to serve each other and protect each other from this vile evil that seems to be spreading throughout the United States. Father, we're grateful for the opportunity to be born at a time such as this, and just, again, pushing things across the finish line and really trying to reconcile what it is we need to be doing collectively in order to take back our nation from these demons. I say these things, Father, humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, I will see you guys later. God bless you, Susan Rice. Nana, good to see you. And Teresa, good to see you. Go have fun at it. Gammy, good to see you. And Patrick, always good to see you. Jeff, good to see you. And remember, you're the ambassadors of truth. Go act like it. All right, take care. God bless you.
Rise up untamed in the heart of the fight where the wild ones roam. Joe Oltmann's calling, bringing truth back home. From conservative daily to this untamed fire, we shatter the silence, lifting spirits higher. No chains can hold us, no lies can prevail. Authentic and fearless on this rugged trail. Patriots gather under stars and stripes. Untamed nation, igniting the night. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave belong. Yeah, untamed and wild, forever strong. Play it again all night long. Break the mold, chase the real. No more games, time to heal. Joe's voice leads the untamed crew. Truth matters through and through. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave